Yeah, nice. Nice.
So I'll tell you what AI means to me. Automating the mundane and scaling the successful. That's what it means to me, right? But what does it really mean for your business? What I'm going to do is show you strategies today that's taken our businesses to multiple seven figures using AI alone. So we have, a bunch of AI employees in our companies that I attribute success and actual revenue figures to in our business. And then we've got humans that I attribute success and revenue businesses to as well. Okay? So it can be implemented in any single business, and today I'm going to give you a clear roadmap to do it. So I'm going to give you an understanding to a strategy that I call AI templating. And I can attribute more than $3.7 million of income to this strategy alone. Okay? So I'm going to give it to you guys for free. At the end, I'm going to give you guys a free AI software that we've developed that you can use to create landing pages. It's free. I don't require any of your email addresses or anything. You can just use it day to day as if you would ChatGPT. It's just in a browser. So before that, who am I? Why am I here? I feel like an imposter today. Everyone's. It's different because a lot of the times when I speak to audiences, a lot of people don't know the shit. So you guys all you know your shit. So you'll be able to tell if I'm lying. So my name is Elliot Rain, and I've been responsible for 2 seven-figure businesses in the tech world in the last 10 years. My background is in 2015 to 2020. I scaled and sold my first company in blockchain in 5 years. I was from 15 years of age to 20. My current business is a company called Rain AI. We're a technology company that focuses on helping our clients automate the marketing processes using AI so they can market on autopilot 24/7. And we do this through do-it-yourself SaaS solutions, and we then ascend them into done-for-you AI infrastructures that we go in and we actually imply it into their businesses. I invested in actually co-own over 26 companies in total. The most recent was December 2024, which is an AI reading platform called Ducklingo, and it teaches infants to read using AI and phonics. So effectively getting infants to be able to read before they go to nursery, before they actually turn to school using AI in an app. Now I spend my time on portfolio companies, building our own proprietary AI softwares. So I was telling Daniel and Gary before, we have a big team of developers that focus specifically on AI, creating AI agents, making SaaS products, and a lot of our customers come to us and start at point A, and before they know it, in a few weeks, they've consumed quite a lot of our different SaaS products, and they become worth a lot more to us as a customer. And then some of our customers right the way from one-person agencies right the way through to our biggest customers, so Oracle, NetSuite, and BT, and other large corporate organizations. Aside from that, diagnosed with ADHD, so I like to keep my brain active through training sessions, regular travel, nature, and pretty much just annoying yawn most of the time. So I'll give you 10 years in sort of one graphic. So we had a business called Planet Crypto that I kind of like to call it a mess. We had a lot of IP on blockchain, and we put a lot of time and effort into building training ecosystems that got acquired by a different company that we actually had and worked with in a building in Manchester. So I learned everything about direct-to-consumer marketing, driving products, services out to the market, and getting people to learn things, which is pretty challenging when it comes to selling, online programs and ecosystem. And then from there, went into build our own, and this was in 2020, and this was how I launched Rain AI. We went out to build our own blockchain and AI development company, which effectively now feeds Rain AI. So we have our development company that builds the SaaS products, and then that develops the products into Rain AI where we sell them. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling ecosystem right now where we have a target to hit 30 or 40 different SaaSes over the next few years. So there's me. I sponsored an event. The first photo, I sponsored an event meeting the King of India, or the King of Jaipur, which was a polo event in India, in Jaipur. Then there's me speaking in the House of Commons there in Parliament in the UK, me with one of my clients on stage, winning 2019 TSB Bank Entrepreneur Event Award, and then me at 16 speaking to one of the BT executives. So before we get started, thanks to QP for having me. I'm really grateful to be here, and nice house. Okay, so in true fashion, I made this entire presentation using AI, and I'll explain how we did this with AI. And you guys might know this, but we use a tool called Gamma app, where you can create presentations. And I don't think it's perfect, but what it did is make this presentation not take me 7 hours to make, but took me an hour and a half, 2 hours to put my sprinkle on it, right? So an extra 2 hours for a bit of a human touch. And there's a lot of pure source to get through today. So I'll give you the learning journey. So understanding the AI and business impact, why it's important, AI client acquisition strategies, product ascension framework, so how you can ascend and how we've ascended customers from our DIY solutions or SaaS products right the way through to spending $70,000, $80,000 a year with us. AI templating, and then I'll give you a live template of and demo of doing some AI templating and how we can use GPT, Claude, whatever to do that. And then I'll give you a blueprint to implement it in your business. So the landscape, 60% or over 60%, probably more than that now, of businesses are adopting AI as of 2024. 15.7 trillion global impact is estimated by 2030. And then we're pretty much seeing an over 40% productivity increase observed in businesses. Now, why I think it's important to say this is that's in businesses that are implementing it correctly, because it will become a fucking nightmare if you try and automate something that was previously working and you don't know how to automate it properly with AI. Example, if you've got a really defined marketing process that requires a couple of people, maybe an appointment setter and a closer, and you literally like put in an AI and it just sends leads everywhere and pisses them off and you end up, your conversion rate tanks. That's an example of a bad implementation of AI. So for me, it's all about understanding the strategy, understanding how to actually put it into your business and implement it, and then how to scale it without actually impacting your existing systems, but enhancing them. Kind of what Jon said, a bit of an extra version of yourself, enhancement of yourself, right?
What do you do in the cases when companies don't have that done like process mapping? Basically, you're saying that it's a nightmare. You don't have to do that for them?
Yeah, because we have to then create their process, which is kind of like creating their business, right? So mostly in that case, we would qualify them as someone who would work better in the do-it-yourself solution. We don't turn them away. We just, because we see it as a learning opportunity for them to use one of our SaaS products and realize, okay, this is painful. We need an internal SOP to then scale, right? But that's typically part of our, I suppose, qualification process to get people to where they need to be, or to make them realize themselves that they have a business, but they have no system to do it. So for me, what is AI in business context? So I won't go through these, all the little text there, you can read it, but the automation, personalization, data analytics. So, if you're running, for example, Facebook ads, or you're doing outreach campaigns, previously you may have done, a lot of people on Facebook ads use just the attribution dashboard, right, on Facebook. But previously people may have been using spreadsheets and all that good stuff, whereas AI allows us to really look at data in a quite an exciting way, whether it's open rates on call outreach or whether it's, return on investment, ROAS or whatever. And then predictions, so we can look at prehistoric results that might have taken us a full 2 days of backlog and then forecast what that previous work what the result of that was and how that it might look moving forward with the same momentum or increased momentum, yeah? So, current AI business applications. And again, there's a lot more, but I think these right now, again, we focus all of our efforts on how can we use AI to make marketing more efficient, right? And, everything else around that is kind of like not our field, yeah? We understand AI, but we really focus vertically on AI and marketing. So for us, we use AI in business application for customer service, but specifically customer service in finding pain points in our customers and then recommending and cross-selling other products. So you see how that then becomes a customer service agent that is in the marketing niche, yeah? Or an AI SDR, AI customer service, right? For generating more customers. AI content creation, so whether it be SEO blogs, creating posts, ad creatives, which are getting better, by the way. It's finally learned how to spell as ChatGPT and all these other LLMs. Data analysis, process automation, and lead generation. So impact on service providers. So 45% saved, 3x content creation speed, 60% response time improvement in customer service. And I've spoken to Daniel before. Apparently you had a couple of issues with that, right? With do you want to explain your customer service issue? You said you had a customer service agent in AI that had loads and loads of inquiries, and it costs a lot of money to run, right?
We considered using AI for customer service, but we didn't move forward because the costs were too high compared to our manual team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many people manually did you have on the?
We have 4 reps.
4 reps. So that's,
Yeah.
And how much were you spent paying them?
Like 600-700 per month
Okay.
per person.
So 2,400 in total for the team.
Yeah.
And AI was more expensive than that?
Yeah, much more.
Wow, really?
A lot more expensive.
Okay. I could probably help you with that
And
afterwards.
a lot of tickets
Yeah.
per day.
It's e-com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 28% cost savings. So the costs are not adapting to AI, because a lot of companies are, most people, and most companies nowadays. So losing market share, revenue gap, and competitor advantage. So 42% of non-AI businesses are losing market share. Competitors' advantage is growing by 2.5x annually, and this is an average revenue gap of £125,000 per year versus AI competitors. Examples of industry transformation. So quantum performers, which made you on a little bit less retarded. Marketing agencies achieving 156% more efficiency, whether it be lead gen or process automation. A business coach increasing their client base by 3x. These are all case studies of customers we've worked with. And then consultants seeing 45% cost reduction on manpower and VAs and all that good stuff. So key tools for businesses, and I left some of these in these images, by the way, just like not to look like a rookie, but these images are all generated by AI, right? And you can see here on this image here, there's many spelling mistakes in the image, which is a byproduct of a couple of weeks ago before they had the language patch on some of these tools. So content generation, ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, Grok AI, which you'll find a lot more on Twitter X. Image creation, Midjourney, DALL-E, voice and video, so Descript and Synthesia. I love Synthesia for creating AI voice agents and customer service reps. And then analytics, obviously AI and data robot. Again, there's new things coming out like quicker than I can keep on top of. In fact, it's a full-time job of research to see all the new AI tools that come out. But I think the ultimate thing is finding something that you can understand and it feels comfortable to use and not like a chore, and then building on top of it as such.
What do you use obviously AI for?
Analytics. Yeah.
Does any spreadsheet,
Any spreadsheets?
Why is it better than ChatGPT then?
It's a vertical agent, right? So it's been specifically trained for taking data and crunching it into a readable format. So if I put that same data into ChatGPT.
Does that data inherently have to be like uniform? Like what I'm asking is like when you shove something into what was the name of that app? I'm sorry.
Obviously.
Obviously, like do you have to send an Excel sheet? Could I just drop, for instance, straight in like P&Ls and tax returns of a company and go spot discrepancies and write me a 1-page executive summary describing like any discrepancies in my No, seriously, like I
thought you were gonna blow up then.
What's that?
I thought you were gonna blow up then. Didn't take a breath. Yeah, I mean, all of these systems.
It's not reliable with ChatGPT. Like it doesn't understand.
Yeah.
It doesn't understand.
All of these systems have their own way of presenting data, right? And that's one thing with SaaSes that I've found is if you buy a SaaS, you can't change their front end unless you speak to their dev team, right?
Yeah.
So if you give them data, it's going to present it in their way,
Sure.
right? However, if they have a prompting functionality where you can give it parameters and update the knowledge base, then you have more chance of getting the exact result that you want, okay? So business areas requiring AI adoption, and these are all, I suppose the 4 most important ones, like for me, and I think other people would see other things as more important, but number 1, client communication, number 2, service delivery, number 3, marketing, which is our focus, number 4, operations. So client acquisition section, so traditional versus AI enhanced methods, and 4 core acquisition channels, and then an AI integration strategy. Now, what most people have, which is a problem when it comes to AI, is they forget all the traditional marketing approaches, right? Which work, yeah? So cold outreach, warm outreach, content, paid ads, right? So the Hormozy approach, which I'll go over through on here. And the thing that it becomes this massive complex thing using AI, where really all it is an extension of what's already working, yeah? So that's why we're going to start off with the core things, and then we're going to move into how we can, or some tools that I use in order to grow with AI. So Hormozy's method, we put it into a client acquisition pyramid internally. So paid ads, content creation, cold outreach, warm outreach. I'm sure you guys, everyone's understood about all that, right? Great, okay. So AI and outreach. So whether it be cold outreach on cold email, or whether it be LinkedIn messaging, or whether it be, even sending direct mail, right? Like sending physical direct mail. We can use AI to personalize that by going out, feeding a database into AI, giving us preliminary research on them, and then sending that off to the printers and sending out flyers to people, yeah? So you can understand how we bridge the gap between online and offline marketing. Most of the stuff we do is online, but you can use, I had a client, it was a recruitment agency that used to send like bricks to people's offices and just say, let's build, yeah? Let's build together. And then they'd have like a synopsis that we implemented with AI below that of their business about how specifically to their business they could help them, yeah? And then they used AI for that preliminary research. And in, a few hours, they had all that research, sent it off to the printers for the notes, and then got a bunch of bricks from the local store. Okay, so for me, AI and outreach is about using personalization at scale. So, previously, if you're doing outreach, it might have been like, hi, first name, this is our great thing, buy our thing, right? Whereas now with AI, we can say, hi, first name, saw you appeared on a podcast. Yeah, we take that data from online, or saw you had a press release. Great work, compliment, feed their ego, and then we can drive into the actual sales piece of, or the call to action of the email. Yeah, so we can get that data about people and implement that into our cold outreach. Then of course, actual follow-up outreach and automation, and then success tracking, which some of the tools out there give us that anyway, right? So warm outreach. So this is typically when we're going out to people we know, and I'm going to go into what AI tools we can use in order to scale at warm outreach. So AI in social media automation, whether it be LinkedIn to your existing network, or whether it be your Facebook friends, or even automating your WhatsApps to to send blasts out, all that good stuff. Email, SMS automation. This is all to people you already have in your existing network, right? And you can use AI to pretty much go out to them night and day without pissing them off and burning your relationship. CRM integration, and then performance analytics. So here are some of the tools that we use for outreach, for warm. So for automation on LinkedIn, we use Dripify, which is a byproduct of a company that built it, but there's also a bunch out there as well. So Expandy and all these different ones, you probably know a lot of them. ManyChat for automation on Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, creating chatbots in the DMs. AI, SMS and email automation, so Active Campaigns and Twilios. There's a bunch of them out there. We pretty much use Twilio as like the send grid for the back end of some of our SaaS products, alongside some other like Mailgun and things like that help us to plug into some of our SaaSes. CRM integration, so HubSpot, Salesforce, bunch of them out there, and then performance analytics. So we use a Hotjar a lot to check where customers are clicking on our platform. That then gives us what's called intent data, so we can use that then in our outreach. So for example of that, which is a really nice way to do cold outreach, is you install Hotjar and other systems on your website as such. It would farm their data when they land on the website. According to this, would be an AI agent you create, farm their data, email address, pretty much without them even opting in. Find what their previous cookie history has been, if it can get that. Not with Hotjar, but that's an example of what you can feed information of Hotjar into an AI agent, right? So you would say they've been clicking here, and you put that data into an AI agent. It would then go out and find on the internet things about them, and then you would put it into something like Instantly to send the cold email to them, if you understand, yeah? So how these things works is kind of like not using one system, but using a group of systems to feed an overall AI system, yeah, or an AI agent as such. So cold outreach, again, a lot of you guys know what that is, so I don't need to go into that. But AI enhanced cold outreach. So prospect research, so filling our cold outreach emails with more research and personalizing, response rate optimization, and then A/B testing. And one thing you can do with AI, which is cool with cold outreach, is you can set up an AI agent that when your cold outreach gets responded to, you can have an agent then respond back to them and book them in, right? So you can take an example of taking Instantly, for example, which is doing cold outreach, and then feed an AI agent that I'll get onto some of the platforms we can build them to actually respond to them automatically. Yeah?
Do you then connect instantly with OpenAI?
You can connect instantly with OpenAI, yeah. We generally connect it with a software called N8N, which is an AI agent builder. And that has it like it, for example, Zapier, right? They've got all these different apps you can connect to. You would just connect into your Instantly and you would give it a trigger to say the trigger is response received. The intelligence is positive response. That would then feed the AI agent to respond to them using Gmail or whatever your email provider is that you've been sending the emails from, basically. So cold outreach in implementation. So AI tool stack setup, campaign structure, so copywriting and targeting, performance metrics, so looking at reply rates, booked calls, and then optimization. This is all things you can put in place using AI. So for cold outreach tools, it depends on your niche, to be honest, because Apollo.io is kind of a bit shit right now for data, but I just wanted to put it in there as like a step one because there's databases out there that are like Zoom Info and, say again? Clay is awesome, yeah, Clay is awesome. But data scraping, there's a bunch of AI tools out there. I'd say step one is Apollo to farm data and get databases of your ideal customer. But then using things like Clay is really, really good. Lusher is a really nice one as well.
What's Lusher like these days? Because I used to use it all the time with my previous business.
A lot of our clients that are like SMEs and like not enterprise use Lusher.
Yeah, that's where we were like in middle market. And that's
Yeah, Lusher's pretty cool. Instantly AI to send you cold outreach, which is kind of industry standard. Deliverability is tanked nowadays across the board because of the shutdowns with Gmail and Yahoo and all that. But we still see Instantly as a great source to send emails automatically to your ideal customers. There's a bunch of them out there as well. So Reply.io is another example where you can build out workflows and cross-market target as well. So you would feed in their LinkedIn as well, and you would feed in their email, and then you can target them on both LinkedIn and email using Reply.io, which is not something you can do on Instantly. So it gives that real omnipresence. And then SalesLoft, it gives us personalized messaging and actually predicts based on user behavior that they have in their database when the best time to outreach to your individual customers are and prospective customers are as well. So for me, they're 4 great tools that you can use, but there's endless amounts. All you got to do is type in Apollo.io competitors and you'll see a full list of them, right? So AI and content, social media, again, pretty basic stuff, but content generation. This for me is like when people know nothing about AI, it's the first step they take. Yeah, it's like how can I create a social media post using AI, right? Or a caption. Yeah, that's when you go on your Facebook or on your LinkedIn and you see all these emojis and dashes and stuff of people that have created AI generated posts, and you can see it straight away, right? You see that every day from people that don't use AI much and they'll just use AI to generate content. So AI in social media, content generation, post scheduling, automation and engagement, which is a place we use it quite a lot. So creating chatbots inside of the DMs on Instagram, on Facebook and LinkedIn, for example, which you can't really integrate as much with LinkedIn nowadays. They're a bit hard to get an API in there and create a chatbot. And then analytics and insights on your posts. So don't need to go into too much about this because this is very basic from the social media strategy side of things. So choosing the right platform, planning your content strategy, using posting schedule platforms out there to be able to understand, what your engagement is, where people are best engaged with your content, and actually posting more of that types of content, and then tracking your ROIs. So for me, the framework with AI is using and establishing core content themes, so whether it be long and short form content, and then using AI to be an extension of what's already working, right? So, building out a community around your content and driving long and short form content to create more leads on social media. Okay, so some of the tools that we use, again, this is all pretty basic stuff, but I just wanted you, if any of you guys don't use it, it's a Hootsuite for AI content creation and curation, and actually working out when best to send posts and posts, etc. And then buffer.com, which is great, a bit more expensive, but it gives you analytics to actually drive better results online. ManyChat for creating bots inside of the DMs. One of the products that my company are creating right now is pretty much an extension of ManyChat, where you create internal bots that then go out to different platforms from that existing platform. So say, for example, you could be speaking to someone on Instagram, it would farm their data and then go find their WhatsApp, and it would target them on WhatsApp. So that's an example of an extension of what ManyChat do very well, which is chatbots in the DMs and the Messenger, and then how you can take that and build, what's called a vertical agent in the DMs. And then Sprout Social, which just gives you more analytics on when to post.
Metricool is very good.
Metricool is very good, yeah. I really like that one. So paid advertising, again, for me, like, I have a full paid advertising team, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are more like experts on paid ads than me, but this is what it means to me, and I hope it helps. So ad copy generation, audience targeting, budget optimization, so knowing when to shift budget into something that's getting scaled or killed, and then performance prediction. Yeah. So to me, paid advertising is enhancing your result and your return on investment, but also working out when something's not working and scaling the right thing, but actually predicting what the next thing is. Like right now, you're seeing online, someone who I follow, Alex Becker, he's pushing out AI creative left, right, and centre, and they're just crushing. So being able to see what the best in the industry are doing and then use AI to mimic what they're doing is something we've been doing a lot recently as well. So platform selection for your right paid ads, and where your customers are, budget allocation, target audience, and then ROI metrics, very basic stuff in paid ads. But this is what paid ads implementation with AI means to me. So copy, ad, and targeting. So these are all things you can use AI to do and create, whether it be GPT or Claude, to create your copy, your actual ad, and then help you to understand the targeting. But then actually, AI in Facebook, in Google, they spend millions, if not billions of dollars on their own internal AI frameworks, right? So a lot of the times we get in our own way by trying to be smarter than their tools. But sometimes if you just understand a little bit using GPT, like what your customer is, or maybe you've been in business for a long time, them down to a T, and you can literally just go out, create a copy, offer-driven, copy-driven, and then let the AI on Facebook and Google do its thing, and you get good results for broad targeting. But I know that doesn't work for a lot of companies, but these days my company just do worldwide targeting with offer-driven ads, and they seem to work really, really well. Don't know how, I do. Testing frameworks, so variations of your ads, so we can whip up a bunch of different creatives in minutes using AI agents or using GPT. Scaling your budgets and performance tracking, which is ultimately a kind of a recurring theme here, is using AI to look at data and then actually forecast how to move forward and get better results. So paid advertising tools, so Hyros for us right now is pretty much the best. I think B2B and B2C works very, very differently. I think a lot of people in B2C and e-com use Triple Whale.
Yeah, that's okay, there's that.
Yeah.
I use another one, probably merge.
And yeah, so we found Hyros works best for B2B for us, but I've got a lot of friends in e-com that use Triple Whale and swear by it. We tried Triple Whale and just bombed the B2B.
It's very expensive for B2C at least.
Yeah.
For B2B.
It doesn't make sense, yeah. Ad Creative AI, so this is a really cool tool, really cheap as well. You can literally just prompt what ad creative you want, and it will provide literally 25, 30 of these variations. There's even a free trial you can use to play around with it. And yeah, if you master your prompts on that, you'll actually get pretty good offer-driven ads. You're not going to get ones that are developed by proper CBR, based graphic designers, but for offer-driven, if you've got an amazing offer right now, I believe you can literally write on a piece of paper and put it up against the screen as your ad creative, and it'll get it. And we've got some really decent, like 3-4% link click-through rates ads from ad creator AI. Accusio.com, so this is more a Google platform, but it allows you to automate bid management across the platforms and helps you to get data on what's working very, very well and shift your budget accordingly. And then MarketType again is one that's on MarketType's going to say that's actually there to include enhance your ad performance overall. I don't use that one that much, but I know that some of my friends that do use it quite a lot, which is why I include it. Not an expert in that by any stretch, but check it out if it's something you need. Okay, so a combination of everything I've mentioned is pretty much a secret to all of our success, right? Is taking the basics and how do we then extend that to enhancing it with AI, right? Because everyone in this room knows the 4 ways to get customers, yeah? But do we all know how to use AI to enhance that? Even I don't know everything, right? It's how do we make something that's right for you to then enhance your profitability without cannibalizing it, which is the most important thing. Yeah. So every time I ever feel flustered about AI and because what a lot of people have a tendency to do is just make things when you put AI on something, it becomes this techie thing, but just an extension of what you already know and what's got you here. So I refer back to myself talking out loud the following. So I'm flustered because I want to achieve X, and how I achieve that is done by Y. Okay. So this can apply to every area of your businesses, but in this case, it would be I'm flustered because I want to achieve more sales. How I do that is by the client acquisition pyramid, yeah. And so that has nothing to do with AI. It's just an outspoken thing to the world that just tells you what am I worried about? What am I I've got a business that is doing well, and everyone in this room does. So all it is extending what you already know, and whenever you get flustered with AI, just go back to the basics, which is pretty much that declaration that I said to myself. And that just goes back to, in that case, the customer acquisition pyramid. Okay? So typically where most of the stress comes from is clearing through the noise, and mostly AI is an extension of existing strategies in the real world. Yeah? So, Jon will tell me I can get, even at the gate today coming in when it was a 10-minute wait, I was losing my fucking marbles, right? But if you provide me with a 100-page essay to condense using my brain, I'll do it, and it won't fluster me, yeah? So everyone else has their different areas of genius, but I think it's about understanding what you do very, very well and then speaking it out loud and then enhancing that with AI, right? Because I believe using AI in an area that you lack is a recipe for disaster, yeah? So it's like anything. You understand the strategy, you understand how to implement it, manually, for example, with an SOP and a template, and then you can go out and actually make an AI that supports scaling your business, because AI will make shit shitter, but it will make great even greater, yeah? So now one of the most recent things we've been having a lot of fun with inside of our business is this. It's called an AI lead magnet ascension model, right? So one of the things that I attribute our kind of SaaS success to is, and I got asked a question by you, Daniel, earlier on about why do you not just focus on one SaaS? And it's pretty much down to this strategy that I'm going to share with you guys, because we've pretty much mastered the ability to take customers from not knowing us to buying something very small to then ascending inside of our ecosystem to becoming done for you or done with you clients to implement stuff. And a lot of our clients just stay on the do-it-yourself SaaS solutions as well, right? They build their agents out, they build out, the CRM or whatever, and then we never hear from them again, which is fine, right? We still make good MRR from them. But this ascension model is what's allowed us to, get people to know about us and then actually acquire customers at break even. So an example would be we'd give a lifetime deal away out at $97 for lifetime in one of our SaaSes, and then we'd acquire a customer at say $50, which would be a 2x front end return on investment, and then they'd self-serve inside of that ecosystem and buy other products that we have that we upsell and cross-sell to them, right? So that then liquidates the front end, we make money, and then the back end, they're just self-serving and buying everything inside of the shop window as you were, right? So, this is a way that we've been able to get customers be worth 15x to us, straight away, which is great. But typically there's two ways that we can do this, and it's a three-way mechanism, but it's only a two-way street, which I'll go over. So the three ways to do it, you can create AI lead magnets at scale. So we can use things like Gamma AI. We can use tools out there like Jasper to create AI lead magnets to be able to get our customers to engage for free, yeah? Or even create softwares, yeah? Create free tools that then get our customers to use day to day and then like us, know, like, trust us, and then, I'm seeing some of the best cost per lead or the lowest cost per leads on free softwares nowadays, which can be created literally like in 20 minutes using custom GPT, and then you can even like pre-frame a custom GPT as like a lead magnet with a squeeze page, right? Get someone to put in the details, then just send them a custom GPT you've made, right? And you can get amazing like lower cost per leads just by doing that. But the mechanism that we mostly use is what's called a budget buyer mechanism, right? So we drive cold traffic directly into like low ticket DIY solutions, yeah? And then the objective in the game we're playing here is to get customers to buy a high ticket thing or a certain percentage of them. Yeah, and this is what's called in traditional marketing, if you like ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson and all that good stuff, is what's called a value ladder, right? And price points are essential to conversion, and automation is key in this process. So AI lead magnet strategy. So what's different about sort of 5 years ago when I used to drive people through paid ads into literally just like a PDF or like even a Google Doc or like something that was just shit. Like basically you think it's just shit right now, like a case study or a research report, is right now the confidence of customers or potential customers is very low. So that means your first point of contact with them has to be incredibly valuable, which is why I favor like small ticket products, because we get paid to give them that, which means we can put a lot of our time and resource into it. Whereas the psychology, if you bring people into a free product, a lot of them don't even open it, right? So the point is, if you are doing free products as your lead conversion mechanism, you need to create them at scale, which is where we create them like automated using AI, right? And you can create what's called a two-step every single week, which means you have a new lead magnet pretty much every single week rolling out and getting people to comment down below. You see a lot of marketers online that they're like, this is my thesis, comment the word AI below and I'll give it. And you got all these messages and then they're DMing people from all the messages in the comments, yeah? And they're doing that through either creation of lead magnets using AI or just a team that just pumps out lead magnets weekly, yeah? Because like back in the day, you could create one lead magnet, it'd last you a full year, right? Nowadays, it doesn't work as well. So AI and lead magnet generation. So content generation, we can create designs, distribution automation, and performance analytics. So lead magnet ideas. So as I said, the top of the pinnacle for me right now is softwares. So creating your own softwares that lead quite nicely into your done with you or your done for you premium buyer solution, yeah? Again, the barrier to entry is a little bit harder here than creating PDFs and in-depth trainings and whatnot, but it will pay off because I've seen some of our softwares get leads at like 60 cents. It's ridiculous. Like cost per lead across 5K a budget, 60 cents.
Facebook?
From Facebook, correct. It's ridiculous. Yeah, honestly. But generally it's between $2 and $3. And free trainings. So we can create, AI-based trainings where we can clone our own voice and pump them out at scale. And then ebooks and PDFs, right? So offering a free software tool is kind of tricky without a tech background. But you can still create it using, ChatGPT and kind of no-code platforms out there, which are really easy. Oh, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. So for me right now, what's working really well to create, great lead magnets is Gamma, what I created this in. So, you can create a presentation that has 15 slides in a matter of seconds, and you can finish it in probably an hour, and you just pump them out every single week and just get people to comment below for the thing, which is great. And then Jasper. Now, the reason why I love Jasper, by the way, for us is like Jasper is a vertical. There's two types of agent trial, two types of what we call LLMs, which is a large language model. You've got vertical agents, which are like subject matter experts, and you've got horizontal agents, which are like when you go onto ChatGPT, you kind of learn everything from it. So you can ask it for a contract, or you can ask it for how to do a laundry list or something to buy, right? whatever. That's what's called a horizontal agent, because it's a subject matter expert in a lot of things, but it's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. Whereas a vertical AI agent is a specific industry use case, like intelligent in a certain area. Jasper is still a horizontal agent. It knows a bit of everything, but it's been trained very, very like diligently on marketing in AI, right? Which is why I love Jasper over all the different Claude, DeepSeek, Grok, whatever, GPT. Jasper's a great one. You'll actually see on their website, like their headline is like the AI for marketing, right? So it's an incredible tool, is Jasper, in our opinion. So budget buyer products, what could you create for budget buyers? So these could be, mostly they're the do-it-yourself solutions. So like, softwares or trainings or whatever. The price points are generally from $1 to $98 or $99. You want to keep it below $100. But the idea is you can drive as much ad spend into that as you want to either break even or just lose a little bit of money on the front end to make a lot of money on the back end, right? It's kind of like the Ryanair strategy in the UK, right? So you would go out and you'd see what's it called? A plane for $17 or a ticket, and then you get to the end of the overall system and you've got $500 in your basket because you've got all the add-ons and the bags and all that shit, yeah? So you're losing money at the front end, you're making money on the back end, which is kind of a really nice strategy that we put in place. And then your premium product structure, which I'm sure you guys have all got, done for you service packages, value proposition focused pricing strategies are going to be premium prices, and then your delivery frameworks are going to be done for you. Now, I mentioned there's 3 different ways to do this. Now, you should not in synchronicity do all 3 of these. The reason why I say that is because if you have a lead magnet, you're going to get probably between 30 to, on a good lead magnet, you might get 30 to 40% conversion on your squeeze page, right? Anything better than that's great. But that then means that only 30 to 40% of your traffic's seeing your low ticket offer, yeah? Which is kind of meaning that you're putting yourself up against a brick wall. So I always test driving traffic into a lead magnet, then directly into a premium buyer next step solution, or into a budget, which is what we do like consistently. We don't do anything else. Into a low ticket DIY product, and then we get them into our other things. So don't do both of them, but you can do step 1 to step 2, which can be dynamic lead magnet to premium offer, or low ticket DIY product to your premium offer, because you don't want to cannibalize your conversions by adding too much friction to your process, basically. So we'll get into the AI agent section now, which is where the secret sauce is, really. So for me, with everything I've gone over today, there's a specific recurring theme here, is how do we take customers from not knowing us to personalizing things, to getting them to like us, know, like, trust us, to getting them to buy something from us or get a lead magnet, and then get them to ascend, right? And we can literally go through every area of this process using AI. So we can create AI agents for the actual first touch point or the outreach or the attraction mechanism. Then we can use AI for the communication piece, which is actually, if a customer, for example, puts in their details and says, I become a lead, we can get the AI to call them instantaneously within 5 minutes, which in traditional businesses would require a call center 24 hours a day, pretty costly. And, when you're employing Mohammed from India, conversions go through the fucking floor, right? Because people hate speaking to them, right? I'm going to say no more, okay? So, and then the AI follow-up system. So we can add in AI agents to literally infinitely follow up, right? And, whether it be cross-platform. So in my internal thesis is customers literally just buy or die, right? That's just like the way it works. They either unsubscribe or they buy, and that's it, yeah? And then conversion tracking, yeah? So we can provide a nice, don't necessarily need to be an AI agent, which is why I've not put it in there, because we're using AI agents to feed that area of the system, yeah? So we don't have to use an AI agent for that. The place we would use an AI agent for conversion tracking and looking over your analytics is when we want specific data from that agent, yeah? Whether it be, presented in a certain way. But to be honest, if you want it presented in a certain way, all you got to do is create an analytics dashboard. You can even do it in things like, Google, the Google platforms and attribution. Yeah, exactly. The Google Analytics platforms and whatnot, where you can see attributions. So what is an AI agent? So an AI agent is a sophisticated software program that operates independently to complete tasks and solve problems. Why is this different to things like ChatGPT? Because we provide an input to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, and it provides us a specific output. It doesn't then go out and find tools and implement it, right? For me, what an implementation of an AI agent is you have the AI agent at the top, and then you have the tools that it can access, right? So a customer service agent might be, the AI agent comes at the top. You might then have a ticket comes in by a customer on your website. You might then, that would be the first tool, right? So you'd connect it to your website. Then you would have, for example, a second tool, which would be your Google Sheets, for example, and your AI agent would fill that out, yeah? Then you might have a third tool, which could be your CRM that says, find information that's been updated on this sheet and put it in the CRM, yeah? And so you can see how the AI agent is not only just being like, providing an output, it's actually thinking and providing doing certain rule-based tasks on behalf of your business, yeah? Can be a disaster if you don't do it properly, but I always say test. Start with one thing, and if you want to start and understand how it all works, start with Zapier, right? Because Zapier is like beginner level. You can create automations, then you can move over to something like NAN or it's N number 8N. Then you move on to something like Relevant AI, which I'll get onto in a future, and it combines combines machine learning, NLP or natural language processing, and decision making in order to effectively automate, yeah? Which is very different to the likes of GPT because it's providing an output. It's not actually thinking and having a brain to do its own things and create its own tasks. So like a digital employee, AI agents continuously monitor business data, customer interactions, and system performance. They respond in real time by executing tasks, making recommendations, or triggering automated workflows. Now, there's a modular workflow to creating AI agents, which you must go through in order to fully automate. So if you think about point A being not automated, and then point B being fully automated, you kind of want to be somewhere in the middle to start, because most people have no process and they think I want to be fully automated. So that's like step 0.1 is having an actual process. Then when you start going into AI, it's like, okay, well, I have a process, but I can't physically automate this thing 100% and expect it to be right 100% of the time. So what then we have to do is we have to create an AI agent that understands when to hand over to humans, which is very important. And that's basically what's called like a system where we can see it's correct and we can say, yeah, that's great, that's not right, but it's not provided the full function of the actual AI agent just yet, yeah? So that's like point 0.5. And when you're happy that every single time it's correct, for example, if it's providing customer service support and you get a notification in Slack every time that a customer responds, it might say, hey, I've designed this response to this customer, is it correct? Thumbs up, yes, okay, I'll send it. And when you're very, very happy that 99% of the time that it's correct, you can click the little on button and say, don't ask me anymore, just respond, yeah? So it's like going from step 0.1, which is knowing your process, to step 0.0, which is understanding AI, to then step 0.5, which is understanding the handover between AI and humans, then to 100% automation or 90% automation with AI. But even 100% automation with AI can still be a little bit not automated, right? Because you need to give it parameters to say, hey, like, if you're unsure, ping the Slack, yeah? Because it's not going to get everything right, yeah? So we have to give it parameters to say, don't try everything and be the master of everything, yeah? So these guys are going to respond in real time and automate your workflows. And they enhance business operations by handling lead conversion. In our case, this is all we focus on, lead conversion, generation, and customer support 24/7. So streamlining admin tasks, analyzing market trends, providing data-driven insights and strategic decision making. Difference between AI and AI agents, I keep saying it, is AI provides knowledge and gives it to you. AI agents provide knowledge and acts on it, yeah? It does the next thing. Okay, so AI agent applications. So streamlined communication, to make sure I've not missed anything there. Streamlined communication, so they provide instant support for customers or for, leads, 24-hour availability and personalized experiences. And we can actually train these to remember, interactions. So, an AI would feed information to your CRM, and if the same customer comes back, it would ping the CRM or send what's called a HTTP request. that would then send back the request to the AI agent. It would then put it into what's called a JSON file, which is effectively just like a note-based way of responding to your customers without it having all the code there, and it would provide the response. But if you think about it, every time a customer comes back, it's a conveyor belt because it's always pinging the CRM to see if that customer has been talked to before in the past, right? And then it's saying, hi, like I saw you doing, like how did you get on with this thing last time you were struggling with? So it provides this really personalized interaction that, you know, without the AI agent is just a like rule-based, yeah, if this is response, give this response. Or if this is the FAQ that they've got, give this response. There's no personalization there. So we can really like focus on personalization with AI and CRMs and AI agents and stuff. Okay, so types of AI agents, which is, again, I've covered these already, but I just want to make sure that it's kind of sitting well in your mind. So number one is horizontal AI agents. So broad systems like ChatGPT, and these handle a wide base of tasks. So it's highly complex and it's very expensive to develop these, right? So I'd say, you know, unless we're getting VC backing for 10 years, let's not build any horizontal agents because it costs a lot of time and they don't make money for a long time. They're a huge risk, okay? So, and then vertical AI agents. So these are creating industry use case specific AI agents that are programmed to handle specific workflows. And they're often these are built on top of horizontal agents. So for example, creating a custom GPT, right? That is creating a horizontal agent. We're going into ChatGPT, we're giving it a name, we're training it. I know that we did some stuff on this as well with you, Jan, like creating like a QP GPT. That's an example of creating a quantum performers vertical AI agent, which is pretty cool. Okay, so text versus voice AI agents, and for me, these are the only ones that people need to focus on right now. I'm sure there are new ones coming out in the future that we don't know about, and there's probably ones where people are trying to penetrate the market and stuff. But right now, they're too much of a risk for us to implement into an established business, right? Because they probably have not got enough user data or user feedback from the world in order to be anything kind of good, right? You think about the amount of inputs that ChatGPT gets every day from people all over the world using it, right? It's consistently learning and updating its knowledge base according to people saying, yeah, that's great or whatever. Yeah. So we have text-based agents. So these excel in structured data-driven tasks. So they efficiently handle queries and workflows. So lead qualification, appointment booking, data entry. Then we've got voice-enabled agents. So voice-enabled agents provide natural, intuitive user experiences, and they're ideal for conversational interactions. So whether it be customer support, real-time support, personal assistance, yeah? So, you know, an example of that could be at the bottom of your page, you could have a phone number where a customer calls up, and instead of you having someone sat there waiting for the phone to ring all day, you would actually have an AI respond, filtrate, maybe potentially diagnose the issue or respond to it, and then hand over if it can't actually respond, right? And the reason why that's so important is because, you know, you might then create a filter between 60 or 70% of tasks that can be handled by AI, and then the remaining 30 or 40% will be handed over to a smaller team of human agents, yeah? So this is an example of an actual. I'll make sure. Yeah, this is pretty much one thing that we implemented in a company that we work with, and this replaces call centers, right? So this thesis here is pretty much an AI speed to lead system. Yeah. So you would drive paid ads into, or which would be YouTube or Google or Meta, into an advertisement with a call to action. So a static ad image or a promo video into a high converting funnel, into a qualification page, which, by the way, we can do all that through forms and surveys. We don't need like AI agents to reroute people's if they're unqualified, right? So we could drive them into a qualification page really easily. And if they're unqualified, we send them elsewhere. If they're qualified, we send them to the next space in the sales process. Because as you mentioned, Daniel, AI agents can become quite expensive to run if you're using systems out there that are rebilling them to you, right? So we want to make sure that our bang for our buck using our AI agents creates return on investment, yeah? So if we're sending every unqualified lead without that qualification piece before, it's going to become very expensive, yeah? But if we're using our AI to actually qualify that lead, it's also going to become very expensive. So we might as well use the tools and intelligence in forms and surveys before they get to the intelligence piece and the AI agent, so that your AI agent is only speaking to qualified people. So the idea with that being is that we then send them to a qualification page, and then if they're unqualified, we end the flow. And then if they're qualified, we drive them to the book call page. Now, here's the key. If they book a call, the AI agent doesn't need to really do anything, right? Because they've already gone through the process. The AI agent can call them up and follow up pre-sequence before they get on a call to make sure they show up. You can set them parameters if you want. But to be honest, you can do all that with like Calendly and all that good stuff, right? The key with where the inflection point for the AI agent is in this piece here is that actually if a customer doesn't book a call, then it's going to trigger the AI to engage with them and call them up, yeah? So it's going to call them within a minute or within 5 minutes. If they don't respond, it's going to then call them the next day, and then it's going to call them on the third day as well. I'm just going to make sure there's nothing been missed out on this graphic just here. Yeah, okay. There was something missed.
Those agents actually convert?
Yes, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do really, really well. For retrieval of leads, yeah, they do really, really well. For retrieval of leads. So if someone falls out of the sales process and they don't book a call, it works really well to get them back in the process. But again, if you create a shit AI agent with a shit prompt, then it's going to affect your conversions 100%. Now, basically, I mean, these slides will be available to everyone afterwards as well. And we've nicknamed our AI framework TAG, so train, automate, grow. So basically, when a lead comes in, our value proposition to our customers is TAG is going to call them up. Yeah, so that makes it simpler for them to understand. Yeah, but the objective is that we're going to drive more leads and make more appointments. Yeah, but I think with anything, like I would definitely test to see if it works in your industry, because it works very well in our industry, because honestly a lot of customers, like, they see we're an AI company and then they see we're putting AI in our sales process and they're like, makes sense, I want that. Yeah, but maybe if you're in a really traditional type business approach, then maybe it just doesn't work.
I guess also
Say again?
maybe the price point of the product or
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
If the price point's really low, it's not going to work as well, because it's going to cost a decent amount to run the system.
I mean, that's
if
kind
the
of
price
the
is
if I'm not
high,
gonna have my
like,
own people doing
It's
maybe it
I
doesn't
would go with
make
AI
sense.
before I go
But I'm saying,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, for us, it's worked pretty well to get people booked in, because you get pretty impressed. It's a little bit different,
But at the end,
but I think like it doesn't work as well in every industry. I'll just say that.
What about tech
should
shit that comes out?
talents.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So this here is basically you're thinking ahead. I like it. This is the second iteration, which is implementing both voice and text, and you can only have a text one as well if you want. So in this case, same flow, but the flow drives into book a call. If you're unqualified, it ends the flow. But then we have what's called a multi-channel follow-up agent. Yeah. So same thesis, that the tag or the AI is going to call them 3 times. And then what actually is going to happen as well is we're going to create an implementation where it's a cross-platform, infinite cadence follow-up. So we're going to follow up with them on WhatsApp, we're going to follow up with them on email, and we can set the cadence indefinitely to follow up with them. Now, the key with this is having a good CRM, right? Because we can create lead score on intent of potential purchase, which means that we can follow up more based on high intent leads. If it's got 80% of buying or 80% qualification status in the CRM, we can get the AI to follow up with them more. If not, then we can set a different flow that follows up with them less, or checks in with them to see if they become more qualified over time. So that's typically like the flow that basically takes both voice and text-based agents. Okay, so here are some top AI agents for text and voice. So text-based agents, ChatGPT, again, it still works very, very well if you plug into ChatGPT and you just train it on the OpenAI developer platform using their API. Which works really well, and it's actually not very expensive. It's like 0.0001 for a credit. I mean, when you think about it that way, all these SaaS companies out there, they're just charging like, huge margins. They're making about 100x on ChatGPT's credit, which is a huge business.
Wouldn't you just do everything yourself on OpenAI? Or
You can do everything. Yeah. You can do everything. You can. I mean, in all fairness, if you think about it, you can go to Fiverr or Freelancer.com or Upwork.
Yeah.
You can pay a developer a few grand, as I was telling you guys earlier on, where we built a VC one for about $3 grand VC AI. You can get them to build it bespoke for you, and you're paying nothing for credits, like nothing. It's when you go down the route of using other companies, which I kind of suppose is like the easy route, right? But I think like if you guys want to save cost but also learn more about implementing it, 100% build your own. Build your own using plugging into, the API developer tools that are out there for GPT and Claude and all that good stuff. Jasper, we love Jasper API for lead generation and conversion because it's already trained as a vertical agent on marketing. We just have to then train it even further on our business each time. So we've created loads of like online tools that are pretty much, they have Jasper AI behind them. We've then trained them on our tool. We've just put a front end on. Customers log in, off we go. We can charge them, a really small amount a month because it costs us peanuts to run it, right? Like we can charge them even $10 to $20 a month and still remain profitable. And even if we want, then we can still put in a token-based system if we really want, like a really cheap one, which is fine. A bit more techy to like rebuild your own credits because you're building a SaaS then, but absolutely doable as a business model. And then Leadflow AI. So this is actually one of my products where our customers build unlimited AI bots. So they plug in their open API key, and then they build out customer service agents. They upload links and knowledge bases, and they can literally resell as many of them to their clients because our targets are AI agencies for that. So AI agencies buy our product, they create unlimited chatbots, and then they resell them chatbots white label to their customers. So that then increases the retention for our rebilling each month because they're getting used by AI agencies and not someone who's going to use one and then cancel the subscription. Yeah. So Leadflow AI is great, and actually we have we use like a lifetime deal, like a structure on that, which is pretty cool. Ooh. Voice-enabled agents. So I talked about Synthesia before. That's an amazing quality voice agent, but it's a little bit more expensive. If you want to actually build out your own infrastructure, you can use things like Amazon Lex and Dialogflow, which Google, which is actually where you can plug directly in as an API and rebuild it yourself, or use it for a cheaper yourself, right? So it's a developer's tool, but it's what a lot of these tools are built on top of. Yeah. So you
replicate your own voice, and that's
yes. And one thing that a lot of people do, by the way, and 11 Labs, I don't know how much they've just raised, but it's hundreds of millions.
11 Labs for voiceovers.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really good as 11 Labs. But a lot of tools out there, they'll use like Amazon Lex or Dialog as a back-end infrastructure, and then they'll plug it into 11 Labs for the different voice types because they're really focused on creating human-type voices and cloning voices and all that. So you can put them all together, and it works really, really well. Any questions? Good.
What do you use it for?
11 Labs, voiceovers for ads. You have a video ad, then you have like a script. Like a
Yeah.
person talking.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Radio ads are done using, I don't know if it's 11 Labs, I'm not responsible, but all of it's AI.
it probably will be.
Every location. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just plug it in.
Yeah. Me and Jan have a full-time video editor, and we've trained him on. I don't know if he's used it for you, but we trained him on 11 Labs to clone voice, and like, it's such a good tool. It's amazing.
We had like one podcast where the voice was fucked up.
Yeah.
Just recreated it.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect. But like,
Wasn't perfect. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty close.
It was nuts because like every 5 seconds it just cut out, and he just filled it all in with AI. Genius. Okay, so best platforms for no-code agents. Now, the caveat to this is what I've just told you before is when you're pretty much building on the infrastructure these guys have built on top of, right? So they're rebuilding it to you. So it gets expensive, but the key is that with these platforms, you don't have to have as much technical expertise to do this, yeah? So Zapier is like the foundational level. Yeah. Zapier is your foundation level, and I don't like it either. Yeah.
Oh my God, they gouge your eyes out, and they're like their customer like service group is just dog shit.
Yeah, they do, and the rebuilding is ridiculous. I don't use it as much. I moved over to a system called Pabbly. I don't know if you know Pabbly. They do a lifetime deal there, and you don't get done over as much. But like, Yeah, make you're right. Yeah, make's there, make foundation level. But like, I always say try Make and Zapier, not to run your entire business because you're right, it gets very expensive and you know you end up talking to people offshore. But understand the foundation of like your trigger does this.
Yeah.
And then the system does this, and then it provides an output. So your input triggers the trigger. It then thinks and it provides an output. And Zapier at a foundational level is that. Make at a foundational level is that, yeah? NAN, which is personally my favorite, right? So it's an extension of Zapier, Make, and I would say out of all the tools that I'm about to show you now, or the next one is probably the easiest to get to understand. And for these, like for NAN, YouTube is like the Bible. I learned everything pretty much that I know other than the development stuff from just like typing on YouTube how to use NAN. And you get 3-hour courses from guys that just make it online and you just sit there and binge it, right? And that's my idea of what I watch before I go to bed, which is people's hell, but like, yeah, for me it's great.
Some people it's porn, for other people it's NAN videos.
Exactly. I know which one I'd rather, put it that way. Definitely the NAN videos.
Right.
So relevant to AI. So I love this one. They've just been funded a bunch of money because you can actually create overall organizations. I was telling you guys before, overall organizations of agents. So what I mean by that is you have like one CEO agent and then you create department vertical agents underneath them. So you would have someone go in, talk to the CEO agent in your mechanism of talking, whether it's a chatbot or whatever, and it would call individual subject matter vertical agent specialists, yeah? So if I were to say like, I create a full marketing team of AI agents, right? So I've got a blog specialist, I've got a content creation strategist, I've got a paid ad specialist and so on and so forth, right? If I call the CEO and say, right, I need a blog creator, and it's gonna go find the AI agent that's a specialist in blog, it's gonna say, run this HTTP request, bring it back to me as a JSON file, and then the CEO provides it, yeah? So, by the way, a JSON file is pretty much just like a file of notes, yeah? So it puts it into a readable format, yeah? So it packets it up and then it effectively opens it up as a JSON file so it can respond. Very techie, but like, just in case you wanted to understand how it works. But yeah, the reason why I love Relevance, and you'll hear a lot more of that online, it's a very new platform by a young guy. Not massively new, but it is still new and it's getting a lot more people using it. But it is an amazing platform for building out organizations. These are my favorites right now. There's a lot more out there, but I don't really trust as many of them as these ones. YouTube is the Bible for this. Very, very important stuff. Yeah. So now you got all this information. How do we take it to market and kind of make a lot of money with it, right? So we have to target the right customers, as you know. So, you know, you can use AI market research to do data collection, trend analysis, competitor tracking, and ICP insight generation. We know all that. And then we've chosen our entry, which is execution, right? So execution requires a lot of strategy, and what I'm going to show you guys is a strategy that I've used that effectively makes our business automated using AI templates so that we can feed our agents. Yeah. So now we understand how we're going to get customers. We understand how AI fits into it. We understand how AI agents work. It's that piece before when you create an AI. What's important? It's the process. Yeah. So we need to document our entire business using AI templating before we go out and create AI agents, yeah? Because if we start with the AI agents, everything else before that is going to fail, yeah? So I'm going to show you that this like is how I attribute everything in our AI agent process to this thing, yeah? So we coined it AI templating. And the idea of an AI template is that we utilize our previously completed work that we've deemed excellent, and then we template it and feed it to AI. Right? So an example of this would be you pay a copywriter right now to write all your landing pages, and you've got a lot of great landing pages that are subsections that have converted really, really well on your campaigns. You template all those, you feed it to the AI. This is what good looks like, right? These are the parameters, yeah? So that's the template before we create the AI agent, yeah? And then we template that and we feed it to the AI, and this trains the AI to know exactly what to provide us within the set parameters of what we set, yeah? It's very important. But ultimately, the AI is like the smartest and dumbest thing on planet Earth, yeah? And ultimately, we still as humans have to provide the parameters that it needs to work within. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So everything in AI is driven by what the human requires as an output. Yeah. And as you've said there, if garbage in, garbage out. If you provide it garbage, it's going to provide you garbage. Yeah. And it's our job to represent what good looks like and feed that to the AI. And this requires our own domain intelligence. An example, an expert copywriter will use ChatGPT differently to a newbie, right? Because, you know, someone who's an expert will be able to identify what shit is. Someone who's a newbie thinks, wow, it's done it in 2 minutes. It's amazing. I'm going to post it, and it works. And that's why you see Facebook or LinkedIn with loads of rocket emojis and whatnot, right? It's just because a lot of newbies that don't have the domain intelligence to be able to say that's shit or that's good are using it, yeah? So the expert knows what good looks like. The big question is, how do you AI template so that we don't need to be an expert in everything? This is where we go into what's called leveraged AI templating. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do leveraged AI templating. So I'll give you a brief overview of how it works, and then we'll go into actually doing some of this stuff on GPT in a minute. So we need to segment our business into different templates, and you can do that really easily by using Google Drive or whatever. And then we need to create the process, right? Which is a very, very important piece of the puzzle. Then we'll have an implementation guide on how we actually implement it, which would be your prompt, yeah, to your GPT. And then we'd have what does success looks like in the business in terms of the output, yeah? So there are 4 types of AI templates, and actually there's a lot more, but there's 4 that we focus on in our business. So email templates, social posting, sales scripts, and marketing copy. Yeah. So marketing copy can come under, you know, CBR-based landing page copy, or it can come under, you know, what's going to be on your Facebook or your Google ad, right? There's many more. This is the process and structure of AI templating. So basically, we template our workflows. So we use existing good work as examples to train the AI. We then insert the AI template into a single instance of AI. So an example of that would be one tab of GPT for copywriting. Remember, we're training vertical AI agents, right? A bad example of that would be one day you train your AI to give you a great result on a social media post. Next day you use the same tab to write a contract, right? We're creating conflict in the AI agent's vertical knowledge base, which is not what we want. So you've got to think of every instance as a new instance that you can rename as a different tab, yeah? And then we're going to create standard operating procedures using templates, yeah? So what I mean by that is we have our own SOPs, we train the AI on our SOPs, and then we applaud it when it does well to create an internal AI SOP that then you can come back to day by day. And then quality controls. So we want to make sure that when it gives us initial feedback, we're giving it good feedback back. And we're telling it it's good when it's good, bad when it's bad, yeah? So we're almost thinking of it like a human. So I'm going to give you guys, I'll spend some time on doing some AI templates. Again, these are not going to be the best things in the world because, like, I've only got 5 minutes to make them, but I'll drive into GPT now. Hi there, so in this video, I want to go over exactly how we can create a copywriting helper within ChatGPT and the thesis that we must go through in order to get great results every time we speak to ChatGPT. So as of today, what we have in front of us is ChatGPT 4.0, which is the latest version of ChatGPT. And we always want to think about ChatGPT as kind of knowing everything, but kind of knowing nothing at the same time, right? So everyone always asks the question, like, will, you know, AI become the new thing that doesn't need humans? And I believe no. Why is that? Because ultimately, there is so many different inputs and outputs and potential outcomes every time you speak to AI that for it to get it correct every single time is simply a fugazi. Why? Because we need to still be driving that, and human knowledge needs to still drive that, right? Because I could be someone who writes landing pages and know what a good landing page looks like, and then I could ask ChatGPT to write me a landing page, and I could know from my own experience that the output is bad. Whereas if someone who doesn't have that experience goes to ChatGPT and ultimately then says to it, hey, write me a landing page, gets the same result and thinks it's amazing because they have no fundamental knowledge, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to create something called ChatGPT or basically templating, right? And this is what I like to call is AI templating. And in this respect, we're going to look at potentially creating what's called an AI copywriting helper. Okay, so we're going to go, hi, ChatGPT. Today you are going to be a professional copywriter. Can I provide you with some information about my website, right? Now, you could literally send it the website URL, which is what I'm going to do, right? So in this respect, we're going to use Clients with AI, which is one of our SaaS products, and we're going to use that link. So we're going to put the Clients with AI is, this is my landing page. And then we're going to do what's called a understanding check, right? So whenever I hire someone, I do this with humans. We do it with AI too, right? So please summarize to me your understanding about our business, tone of voice, and also the target customer. We're going to give it that, right? Okay, and I'm just going to put, please summarize this in, because I don't like reading all that. You can do, but I'm not going to. In 10 key one sentence points, so I can read it easily. Okay, and there we have it, right? So this is now going and pretty much just explaining everything within our offer, and everything I'm seeing here, it looks pretty good, right? So I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Clearly they've got a clear understanding about what it is that I'm seeing, right? Now this next step is going to help you with everything you do, whether it's copywriting, whether it's, writing landing pages, whether it's writing videos, whether it's writing contracts or whatever it may be, right? It's going to help you with whatever, whether it's writing a schedule, because ultimately we have to train the input. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them to write me an email sequence, okay? But I'm not just going to say, now please write me an email sequence, because it's going to then give me an interpretation of what it thinks is good, right? So what I'm going to do is going to go, now we are going to write some cold email, we'll do email marketing sequences, right? I will send you a template, which is important to follow. Please do not deviate from this, and also please make it look like it is not AI written. Do not use words like transform, unlock, etc. Right? Can I send you the templates to follow? And it's now asked me to send the template, okay? So I'm going to pause this, I'm going to go get a template, and then I'm going to come back and show you what to do. Okay, so I've now got an email sequence. I did a 4 email sequence. I'm just going to paste that into here, right? You can see it's message 1, it keeps going, and then we've got message 2. We don't need sequence in here, so I'm just going to remove that. It was something I did in order to keep it easy to understand before. And in this case, like, I just want to, again, you guys have got whatever objective you've got when it comes to your campaign, right? But I'm gonna use this to give it more context, right? Because that's ultimately what we're trying to do when it comes to ChatGPT,
right? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just add a little bit below, and I put notes, right? I'm going to put, this is going out to all our contacts who purchased clients with AI. We are trying to get them to book a call to discuss our new program, Excel with Elliot. This program helps them get done with you support to implement AI systems into their business, and the program lasts 90 days. They should expect to get 2 automated AI systems and also 10 booked calls, right? Let's just say that. Okay, I've just made all that up, right? So that's a little bit of context, right? We've given it some context because otherwise, like, it can write an email sequence about anything, right? I'm going to put note. You can sign the emails off with my name, Elliot Rain. Note, remember, please do not deviate from the above templates, right? Now, I'm not saying that this is going to get it perfect every time, and the more you refine it, the more it has a chance to be perfect. But the point is, in front of us, what I've done is I've given it templates for what I want it to achieve, and then I've actually said to it, these are notes that's going to help you. So we're going to bang an enter on this and hopefully see what it's going to give us, okay? So here we go. So it's going to go for, and try doing now, okay? And you can see that this is now drafting everything, okay? So I'm going to be a little bit lazy here, and I'm going to get it to do this for us, right? So I'm going to, of course, that's continuing, answering chat instead, right? So I'm just going to pause this while this does this. Right, and now what we've got in front of us is a bunch of 4 emails. Now, I'd be lying if I said that I'm happy with these, but what it has done is it has followed my template. Now, bear in mind, the template that I sent you guys is a template, and I showed you here, is a template that I used like 5 years ago, right? So, honestly, would I use it right now? No, absolutely not. There's amazing templates out there that I would use, but the point is, it's followed it, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to it, good try, please fill in all the curly brackets. Also, please add in CTAs in all the emails to book a call to promote Excel with Elliot. The emails need repurposing, but keeping clear on the structure. Right, let's give this a go. So I'm just going to pause this while it does it right now, so you're not waiting for this. Right, so now this has been completed, and of course you can see everything that's been improved. Now, what you got to take into account here, ladies and gentlemen, is I've only refined this twice. And I'll tell you right now, literally, the emails that I've received back are so much better than the first one, just by staying persistent and understanding exactly what I'm looking for. Now, if I didn't have that fundamental knowledge of what it is I'm looking for, then I wouldn't have been able to say this bit here, right? I wouldn't be able to critique it properly. So you can see that I've used the template and we've nurtured it in order to give us a result that we want, okay? So in this respect, just here, you can see that we've referred to, we've filled in all the curly black brackets, we've then provided a call to action, we've then provided a a sign off with also a PS in there, and you can see in here it's even put in some testimonials. Of course, we would replace them with our own, but in this case, you can see that this here is really so much better of an email, and you can see all 4 emails have been completed. Now, the beauty of this system now, ladies and gentlemen, is I can go to this system here, and I can now call this clients with AI email marketing, right? Trained. Okay, so you can see is I'm not going to go back to this in the future, and I'm not going to then say to it, will you write me a contract? I'm going to go back in the future, and I'm going to go and try to give it something that is relevant. But because it's been trained, I'm not going to have to go and do the same exercise again in the future. Like, let's just do this, right? Let me show you something that's quite cool. I'm now going to give it another message, and I'm going to say absolutely nothing, right? So I'm going to give it this message here, right? So I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to copy and paste that into here, right? Now let's just see what this does in order to give us a result, okay? So let me just do this. Let's remove the sequence. I'm not even going to give it any direction. I'm just going to click enter, okay? So what it's going to now do is it's going to take the knowledge that I've already given it, and it's going to do exactly what I want to it, right? So because I've already trained it previously in this chain. Now that's why it's so important. Of course, you can see in this like as a dash here, because that's what was actually in the initial template, believe it or not, right? You can see here, yeah. So you can ignore that. It's just following the same template. But anyway, the point is, this has now done everything that we want in order to do an email, and I can literally just go back to it and say, at any point in the future, and go back to this tab here and give it a template to follow, right? So how cool is that, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, I'm going to pause this for now, and I'm going to come back when it's completed. So here we have it. There we have it. It has literally done, without me giving it any direction, a full email sequence on my behalf, right? So I hope this can give you an understanding as to how we can actually train AI and train ChatGPT in order to give us the result we want. But the most important thing that you guys need to take into account is, now we've trained this tab, right, is you can come back in 6 weeks, 6 months to the same tab and paste the same email with no direction, and you can say to it, there you go, just do it, right? Because we've trained it already. But you don't come to it the next day and ask it for something completely different, because it's going to not be an expert in the thing that you're trying to make it an expert in, right? So hopefully that's been helpful to you guys, and of course what I'm going to do is provide you some templates that you can use as well for various things, and yeah, of course, hopefully that's helpful. And I want you guys to start to see how valuable AI templating is in AI in general. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
So I hopefully your brain is now buzzing with potential possibilities around this. Again, that's quite a basic application, but I want to make sure that you understand that with anything we're training, we're feeding back, we're refining the output, and then we're saying that's great. We've created now our vertical agent, and move on to the next thing. And all SaaS softwares is at the minute that, like, all these companies that are raising like millions of dollars is literally just vertical agents with a front end. Like that's all it is, right? And they're spending money on acquiring customers, but also training their AI LLM all the time. So a few more examples of AI templating in your business. So workflow optimization, so task analysis, process mapping, automation, and efficiency. Templating quality control framework, which is very important. So standards and setting with AI template, which is very important. So giving constant feedback, reviewing the process like what I've mentioned, create a positive feedback loop as you sort of drive deeper into building AI agents and AI just understanding AI and using it, you can actually create AI agents that give each other feedback loops, right? Which is quite fun and something you can do in relevance AI as well. And then of course, continuous improvement. So now I've explained it all and what an AI template is, how can we scale it internally to create a beast business? So we want to, for right now, I only hire one person in a business if I know they can become 4, right? So I create leverage in a business, right? So we hire AI optimized people. Yeah. So one person can leverage themselves to become more people. Yeah. So internal team training. So systemizing AI knowledge across the team. Yeah. Creating training modules. So there's a really nice AI SOP creator called Scribe out there, which is, you can literally just put on Google Chrome and everything you click on, it'll create AI SOPs. You can give them to your team, create videos and all that good stuff out there, which is great. Skill team assessment. So anyone that onboards with our company, we put them through training in AI and GPT and understanding vertical AI agents. We're actually creating a relevance module as well because I want our staff to be able to start creating AI agent organizational structures underneath themselves. Progress tracking, performance metrics. AI and client communication, so AI message templates. So the reason why this is important is because you can pretty much create templates out of prehistoric client communication, and then fill and feed your knowledge base on day one with that. And then, of course, you can template your customer service 24/7 by updating your knowledge base with your FAQs and all that good stuff, yeah? Internal AI templates, so client messages, team updates, right? So, just systemizing your team. I mean, a really simple way to do that a lot of companies use is Slack, project brief, and status reports. So making sure that, your return on your time for your team and your return on investment is higher because they're spending more time doing the thing you pay them for instead of, fucking around with a Google Sheet or whatever, right? So implementation strategy. So tool selection, we use GPT in our example, training your team, integrating and then tracking your performance. There's some very important risk management frameworks that I put in place that are very important because, we don't want it to cannibalize our business. So when I go to Fiverr or Upwork or go to prehistoric work, I get a few different examples of what good looks like to train it. And, double checking with multiple experts in fields in human as well. And then leveraging external experts. So if you need an email written, go out and buy them on Fiverr or buy them on Upwork, get a great one, and then use that in your system. And then, only use one instance of AI, which I've mentioned a few times. So resource allocation. So step number 1, template plan. Step number 2, fill your tool. Step number 3, train your team. Step number 4, track your ROI on your time and your cash. Action plan development. So AI goal setting, template development, revenue generation, and then increase of internal efficiency. This in this particular order is, almost always how when we go into a company, we look at where the problems are, what the goals are. We look at creating templates, then we look at how we can make them money, and then we look at how we can save them money. Basically, that's a step 4-step process we go into. 30-day plan for templating in AI. So in 30 days, building out 5 AI templates. In 90 days, training 2 AI team members. In 6 months, reviewing your financial return, and in 12 months, reviewing your internal efficiency, which is very important when it comes to implementing AI in your business. It should be looked at as a long-term mission and not just a couple of agents that you put in your business. Yeah. Okay. And that's it. Hopefully it's been helpful. I hope you found value from me. This is Copyflow AI, an AI that we trained and developed to be an expert landing page developer. If you want that, you can scan it, and it will allow you to use it on your day-to-day work to develop landing pages and high conversion copy.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Any questions, guys?
All clear to me.
All clear.
Can we get the presentation in?
So I was creating that thing, the voice validate, and they want to use Claude for documentation. Why is that?
Claude's LLM is significantly for certain things better than ChatGPT. So you'll see a lot of marketers nowadays are going towards Claude. I use Jasper because I just adore it. But honestly, for what I've found with process data automation, GPTs are just great. But with like, if you want marketing copy, one thing that they've trained the vertical AI agent on in Claude is getting rid of the, you know, the dashes and stuff. So you'll find a lot in the marketing community right now. Most people are using Claude over GPT for generation of certain things. But it depends on you. I'd say just test them all. Test them both. Yeah, 100%. There's another one come out as well. I think it's called Manus. It's an invite only. It's a chat. I think it's an Asian one. I might be wrong on that because I've not even used it. I'm still on waiting list, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a new one that's come out, and that's supposed to be pretty good as well. But personally, my workflows are just GPT, Claude, and Jasper.
And so, like, I went in and connected the OpenAI with that instantly.
Yep.
But it's not going to be affected before there's a good sample size of data, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
What's is there like a threshold, like a benchmark or something like that?
I always go off 10.
Like, what do you mean? It's like, here's 10 emails I wrote, and it's like, but it's still the
Yeah.
outcomes is not like.
Not as good.
According to statistics, it's more than 30 you would need to put in. Because then you're subject to the law of large numbers.
Yeah.
So anything over 30 for sample size. Under 30 with the sample size, then you're not going to get consistent data. Over 30, you massively increase statistically in the likelihood of getting accurate data with every point over 30 in individual units of like sample size with anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how do you connect all the different? That's really like it's the most difficult thing, connecting all the technologies. Like we have 60.
Yeah.
60.
I would use Make. Make is a great one, and then connect that into things like N8N. It's your two-step process, or connect it into relevance. So you would use Make for the overall workflow, and then you would connect at the end of the workflow HTTP request that looks up the AI agent that's been created in relevance or in N8N. That's pretty much the flow, because your Make is just more so a workflow tool, whereas your N8N